You can say to your female first sergeant, hey, you look like shit with that makeup on, you got fat. That's keeping it real, but is that what you do?
Yo, when I tell you, yo, like, leadership has failed, man, leadership has failed me so much in the Marine Corps. I attempted my first duty station because of my leadership. My second duty station, I went through depression to the brinks. All right, here's your copy of your monthly counseling. Let me know if you have any questions. Sergeant, I want to know, how can I be a meritorious?
All right, I'm trying to sort through this one. Young Devil Dog Motivated was putting out Marine Corps positive videos. Now getting out. It seems like he's changed a tad. Trying to figure out, he's saying it's toxic leadership, or is it just he changed? Is it the Marine Corps' fault? Stand by.
You got to do more. Do more what? Do everything. Go, get up on the bar. 0. 0. What? 0.
Well, this is his TikToks when he was still like a Marine Corps positive, Semper Fi, hoorah guy. And then all of a sudden he digressed into this, a different person we'll call. I'm not going to stereotype, but trying to wrap my arms around it. Did things change that much? Was he faking it? Is it just part of growing up? He decided the Corps is not for you.
All the way down. There we go. 2. Yes, sir. Long we tracking. 3. Yes, sir. Oh, you can't. Whoa, 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 whoa. Yo, when I tell you, yo, like, I've had the worst leadership in my Marine Corps. As I'm here in, like, North Carolina, Camp Lejeune, I've had the best leadership. But before then, I've had the worst leadership. People always talk about, in the military, about retention, about how to retain people. You can't retain people in an organization where leaders be fucking people over, man.
Right.
Like, y'all push.
Well, here's the thing. I agree there's some leadership issues in the military. Done quite a few videos, see in the description. But here's the big but. When you get out in the civilian world, you got the same leadership problems. They're not going away. And for this guy's young sergeant, he's got enough time to know how it goes. He's saying he had good leadership. You'll hear about that. He had bad leadership. So you realize it's kind of a thing based on where you're working at the time.
Somebody that came from the struggle, a tough environment, right? That came from the hood, came from places where they struggled so much, there was so much depression. They joined the military for a better life, and you put them through the same shit. How do you do that? But then you wonder why people want to get out, but you're trying to retain people. That's why I'm getting out. I'm getting out this December because, man, this shit don't make no fucking sense. It wasn't until this year, 2022, that it was okay for a black man to have a beard and still re-enlist in the military. I couldn't re-enlist if, as African American, I get ingrown hairs.
Well, that's been an ongoing theme, right? Where I remember guys, and I didn't really understand it till I saw it, friends of mine, get ingrown hairs. The question I have is you see pictures of him with a shaved beard, looks tight, and you kind of know in the Marine Corps, if you look at the top brass or the top enlisted, and they're African-American descent, they're shaving their face, right? That's what they do. If you want to move up the ranks, I suspect you got to shave it. Maybe they say you can have it, you have a chit. But the people above you, in particular, I would think African-Americans who are shaving are going to think you're using it as a crutch.
Right? Bumps on my face, my shit breaking out like crazy, right? I don't want that. So I get a shaping profile, right, so I can grow my beard out and I won't have ingrown hairs. But I couldn't re-enlist into the military with that. Only people that's dealing with that is black people. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's a thing where I can re-enlist because I got a beard, but yet people call me a shitbag Marine, a fuck.
I can totally see that. And I'll tell you why. Is because the guys above him that are darker than me, they're shaving. You don't see them. You don't see generals, first sergeants with beards. And they figured it out somehow. And it may be unique to him. Hear me out. I'm going to go with it. But that's just the environment. That's an environment in a lot of places. If you want to wear a do-rag in your off time and you're the head of an accounting firm, a CPA, people may judge you and say, okay, I don't care about your skin color. There's a certain look in this organization we expect. I don't care what the job is.
Turd, which is shit. I'm no good for nothing because I got a beard. At my first duty station, when I had a beard because I was having ingrowns, I couldn't work in front of customers or nothing like that because I had a beard. But yet y'all want to be like, oh, we need to retain the best.
Well, it is a bit confusing if you were leadership. This guy's high profile, all these TikToks, I think 500,000 people on TikTok watch his stuff. You see him and he'll have a real nice shave. I'll throw a picture up. But then you say, hey, I can't do it. And so if you were looking at it, going to write that shit, and you saw, you'd say, well, look like you were fine here. Now you want it. You could see the problem. I don't know the guy's real fact pattern. That's not my business. But you could see how leadership may go, it seems like this is a change in personality.
What's up, sir?
I know it's good morning.
Well, these videos weren't long ago, so you got the current one. He's getting out. And we're going to get to the reasons. Besides leadership, there's some other fine points he doesn't care for. He wants to wear the do-rag off, and people don't like that. The beard. And you see him here. He looks squared up, shaved face. He's got his... Well, anyway.
As I was. Good morning, Sergeant.
What can I do for you?
Some Marines was telling me you fell swim cross, Sergeant. That's what Staff Sergeant told me on God.
Shit, we're right here. What you want from me?
Staff Sergeant just wanted me to ask you what happens when you know what happens when you fell.
I guess it's kind of his thing. He walks around. I guess those are Skittles or something, like he's shaking dice. Seemed like that's his shtick in all the TikTok videos. It's pretty good.
Swim cross.
Not a goddamn thing to this my career.
Right, Sergeant.
Long track.
Wow, it ain't my fault. You can't swim.
Hey, back, Marine. I attempted my first duty station because of my leadership.
Okay.
My second duty station, I went through depression to the brinks, and I watched my junior Marine take her. She called me on the phone early that day, telling me how bad the leadership was on her, and took her life. To this day, that shit is on my mental.
Now, here's the thing. If you've got, let's just say he has PTSD. I don't know, because he said the other leadership he was fine, but let's just assume that. Yeah, got it. Is it because of the leadership? I guess that's the question. Is there an underlying problem you need to address? But he's also saying that the junior Marine below him did it. I don't know what's going on. And I'm not sure the MOS. For some reason, I think he's a cook in some of the videos. Could be wrong. But is there a bigger problem? Is there something else besides leadership? You can have shitty leadership, right? And it can trigger you. But usually it triggers you to drink, just be pissed off, not start offing yourself. So I don't know if there's something else here.
I just came from a deployment where the leadership was garbage. It was f***ing garbage. But you want to retain people in this organization and these militaries that this shit don't make no sense.
Right.
Like, you got people that come from these environments where they were lame as hell in high school. Like, they had no sense of authority. They was in a shell of themselves. Now they get some rank, some authority. Now they want to act a certain way.
Now, to his point, that happens in all leadership. Where you get someone was dork in high school, they move up, maybe they're smart. In the military's case, you just move up the ranks. It's not like the best guy always is in charge. That is unique to the military, and I get where he's coming from. You see that, but it's part of it. Like, he goes down his career. You're going to run into this shit all the time. You get into a government job of any type, you're going to see the same thing. Unless you get into a job that promotes meritocracy, we'll call it, I'm getting the word out, then you're not going to see it. So you got to get out. Get something where rewards are based on what you produce for the company.
Like, I've been through so much shit in the military, and the fact that I'm watching a female get promoted to the next rank, selected for the next rank that pushed me to the brink of suicide. How do you not see that?
Well, that's been a thing for a long time, Devil Dog, where if you went to a meritorious board and there was a WM there, we used to be able to say that, and you knew for a fact you weren't getting it. That was just a thing. It was the diversity promotions. In that case, it was female. You knew it. And as long as we have diversity hires of any type based on gender or the way you look, you're going to have that.
How do you not peep that? What's wrong? What are we doing? But you like to say perception is reality. It was like in the order it said I couldn't even have a lineup. Like, yo, you serious? Oh, I can't have a part in my hair, but oh boy with the comb over can have that, right?
Wait a second. I remember, fellas, now this is the 90s, right? Black men, they would have a part, like, the hair would be high and tight, little part. I don't remember that being an issue. Maybe that's a new thing. But listen to this, too. Back in the day, you couldn't have a shaved head. It was considered eccentric, like shave with a razor. So times have changed. It seems kind of dumb, the part. Who gives a shit?
To be natural, but he goes to the barber, gets that cut in. Is that natural? No, it's not fucking natural. I hate the way the military be trying to, in general, man, be trying to play people, man. It's the people, man. The military as an organization, the Marine Corps as an organization is great. The way, the step-by-step shit is great. But it's the people within those ranks that make it to where it is. But until you start holding...
I have no doubt he's on point here, but a couple things. He talked about offing himself and leadership But when you got to the next place, it was fine. Maybe a bigger issue to address there, right? Like a personal thing. You're the common denominator, and that's something you need to think about. Could be PTSD, don't know. And when you talk about looks, right? And if the standard in the Marine Corps is a guy that shaves, including that guys of African-American descent, and you don't shave, it's going to be a problem. People are going to look down at you and go, okay, it's going to be an impediment. And if you're a rock star, you're going to move up. But you're not. You just don't see generals, first sergeants, sergeant majors with beards, to include African-American first sergeants.
People accountable. These organizations will never change. The Army, Navy, Marine Corps, none of that will never change until you start addressing the true problem, and that's toxic leadership. But people say, oh, you soft. Oh, you can't handle it. Yo, I've been dealing with shit my whole life. My mom working 3 jobs, still can't get the bills paid. Had me at 16. I know what the struggle is like. I know what having a job at 15 feels like. I know what paying my bills before I graduated high school feels like.
All right.
I had bills, I had debt, all that shit before I even became a man. You know what I mean? I know what that's like, living on Section 8, having food stamps, my lights being off, water being off, heat being off. I know what that's like. Some of y'all don't know what that's like. Yo, you've been spoon-fed your whole life. But you get this rank in that and you try to like make people feel less than. You can't tell me nothing like that.
I'm hearing a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, all right? People can't make you feel less than unless you choose to. I get it. You get some people you think didn't have the struggle you did, and you're judging them. You don't know what their history is. You may know they came from Paducah, Kentucky, and you think they've got it. There could be a lot of other underlying issues. So it's better just to leave that one alone. And some people, it's just time to get out because the military pay's not great. At least if it's a shitty government job out in the civilian world, you leave at night. When they start telling you how to shave your face, what to wear, it's just he's maybe grown past it because sometimes you got to go, okay, maybe it's a bad month, a bad year in the Marine Corps. But overall, he said he liked it.
Like when I tell you, man, I've been through it all. But the fact is, like, man, I hate the fact that somebody who pushed me to the brink of and my junior Marine took her life is getting promoted to E6. Like, I'm going to get on here and I'm going to spit the truth because that's what it is.
Hey, I'm no healthcare professional, but I have a hard time in my head envisioning some sergeant pushing you to the brink of canceling yourself. Now, they can make your life suck. I get all that, but there's got to be something else going on up here. Now, there was 2 people, him and a young lady, that thought about it and did it. So I don't know. That is weird. I could see one person with PTSD. Okay, 2, seek help if you got it. It's a tough one.
Play me and tell me that I'm not spitting the truth because the leadership is the problem. But you steady promoting people that are the problem, but you don't know how to retain the good people. And that's why I'm getting out. I'm done with this. I'm not.
Well, I always heard all the good Marines get out. That was a thing. Now, it could have been from guys just getting out. But I see that often where guys get sick of it. They just grow out of it. They don't realize, I got to wait maybe to the next command. It'll get better. This is part of it. You're still young, right? You don't understand life's going to keep kicking you in the mouth, and you either just ignore it, get out of it, or just, have to move on from this, basically.
Put more energy, no nothing. I'm not doing military content once I get out. I am done.
All right.
Like, I am done with it. Like, I make this shit look fun, but it ain't what it is, man. And they can be mad at me and do X, Y, Z. That's cool. That is cool with me. But that's me being honest.
Now, at this point, he's still in the Marine Corps, as I understand it. Now, he does have some ambitions for comedy and other things, and hopefully that works out well for him. But the bigger issue we've seen other videos, checking the descriptions about toxic leadership, what can be done about it. Toxic leadership's an overused word when you're young, because you don't really know what other leadership looks like. Is this just normal bullshit of having bosses?
And that's a problem. Like, they can wear head wraps and all this other shit. I wear a do-rag, now I think I'm back on the block. Because that's the terms that they use. Or you think you back on the block. What you trying to say? What you trying to call me?
Let's start off with, don't take everything personal. When they see a do-rag, and let's just say it's your boss. Let's say it's a white guy, and they're equating it to something. They want you to look the part when you're off. I don't know the do-rags looking the part, okay? Let's be honest. If you're trying to lead young Marines and you want them to fit the bill in and out of work time, is it fitting the part? I don't know. If a guy was wearing a bandana, let's just say it's something that relates to a southern white culture. Let's put it that way. You're trying to get everybody to kind of be on the same team. And if they don't want you wearing that after hours, I don't know if it's a racist thing. I just, there's a connotation with that, I guess.
In terms of like a understanding, what you trying to call me? What do you mean by that? Hey, boy. You know how many times I was called that? Hey, boy. What does that mean? What are you trying to say?
I think we've all been called that in the Marine Corps. I was called that as well by black leadership. Didn't think much of it. Not from the South. People get called boy a lot. Mostly white people. I understand if it bothers him, but I think there's a lot of things that are bothering him. So just going, I'm not going to take this personal. It's not about me. It's about them. I want to move on. And you're probably going to run into this in the civilian world. Now, unless you get a government job with shitty pay and you can just cut out and you're not getting fired, maybe it's different.
Terms of endearment, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you really mean by that? Like, that's the type of shit that people deal with every day in the military, but people don't want to speak up because when you speak up about shit, they'll f your whole career. They will fuck your whole career up, man. And that's been my whole career. Yo, I didn't get promoted to sergeant a year in advance before I was supposed to be promoted when y'all finally started seeing me do the TikToks because I had a female, I had nobody under me, told me I liked leadership because I told her because she was toxic. I said, yo, when I get promoted, ain't nothing you can tell me.
Well, that's a mistake. So if somebody's above you and you say, when I get promoted, there's nothing you can tell me, it doesn't look like that. That's not leadership. You could think that. You just don't say that. I mean, that's the first mistake. So if I heard somebody below me in any position, including the Marine Corps, say, when I get promoted, you can't tell me what to do, I'm going to think that sounds childish.
For promotion, I didn't get promoted for a whole year until I got to my next duty station.
That was stupid.
And I filed a complaint. I ran it up to command. The system that was built in place to help protect people like me failed me. Went to the general. And it failed me.
Maybe the system looked at it and said, okay, I hear your complaint. We're not doing anything about it. Because you said to the person above you, when I get promoted, you can't tell me anything. It seems like a juvenile problem. It doesn't seem like an adult problem. You think that everyone understands how this works, but you're still going to be junior to her. But so it's kind of a stupid thing to say.
Because I didn't get promoted, I had to wait a year, but yet she gets promoted to E6. You know what I'm saying? Right. How does that make sense? How do you want to convince people to be in this? You got recruiters out here everywhere using my videos, trying to persuade people to be in. I'm on ship. I'm on deployment. People who never knew nothing about the military telling me, yo, when I was a civilian chilling with my brother, I was watching your videos. It made me want to join.
I'm not sure what he wants from doing the TikToks. Now, it did give him exposure. Part of why he got exposure was he was in the Marine Corps and he was doing TikToks that were funny. So that's, it is a benefit to him. But you look back at Nava the Beast. You remember him? He did YouTube videos, very popular. Don't know what happened to him. But a lot of these guys get exposure because they're in the military and people like it and he's funny. So I don't know what he wanted from the Marine Corps. Did you want something? If you do, ask for it. Say, hey, I want to get into recruiting. Look at what I'm doing. Maybe there's a play there, but just expecting something, you're kidding yourself.
I ain't getting paid for this. I ain't getting recognized for this. The military ain't put me in a position to really win. So that's why I'm getting the because I done been through too much. Yes, I have great leadership where I'm at. I love my leadership where I'm at from top to bottom. But it took 3 duty stations. Yo, I'm done with it, man.
Hear what you just said there. He loves the leadership top to bottom. Man, that's something you want to grasp onto. Now, granted, the first 2 he didn't like. Now, he's got to look back on it. Hey, was it me? Were they just shitty guys? Did I learn? I'm 3 duty stations in now. Now, all of a sudden, I got a different perspective on things. This is going to come up again, whether it's the canceling for, he mentioned that, or whether it's just my leadership sucks. It's always somebody else. He's growing up here and hopefully he realizes.
It's like people don't want to talk about it. They don't want to have that discussion.
No.
But me, I'm 100% like transparent, man.
All right.
I keep it 100. Anybody that knows me, I keep it 100.
Well, sometimes it's not good to keep it 100%. To be transparent. Sometimes to keep the shit to yourself. I like honesty, don't get me wrong. But there's times when you're doing your TikToks or you're talking to your subordinates or your boss, you don't need to keep it 100. You need to think through what you're going to say. Because maybe what you think in your mind, and an hour later you go, well, let me change that. I feel that way, but maybe that's not the best delivery.
It's cool. I go on my rant. I say what I want to say because I'm being honest. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to be honest. Nobody wants to tell the truth. Nobody wants to say how they really feel.
Do you want to be right or do you want to be smart? I'm not saying he's not right, just being honest. Or do you want to be smart? And what he wants is promotion, movement up the ranks, right? So you can be honest all day. You can say to your female first sergeant, hey, you look like shit with that makeup on, you got fat. That's keeping it real, but is that what you do? No, it's not what you do. So sometimes there's being right and being smart, and smart's winning.
Because that's what it is, man.
You trying to be a recruiter, convince people to join the military, but you won't tell them the truth. You won't tell them they won't go through depression. You won't tell them they're going to have toxic leadership. You won't tell them there'll be people that'll hold your career ransom. You got people that's above you that's holding your pay.
Now, all that stuff's real, but is it real for most guys? What are the recruiters supposed to say? Here's all the shitty parts of the military. Hey, sign this contract. Because a lot of guys don't have this, and you have the wherewithal at a point to realize this is just the system. It's a big bureaucracy. I'm either going to work inside of it, figure it out, and be smart, right? Win, or I'm going to get out. Like I said, you hear the expression, the good Marines get out, because some people just go, I don't want to deal with the bureaucracy. But plenty of guys understand it, and they work within it and go, any job's going to suck. That's just life. Thanks for watching.